Have you ever wanted to trade private equity in real companies that some of these hedge funds, VCs, behind closed doors, things that people get access to? I'm talking stocks like XAI, SpaceX. We just saw Figma go live at a $30 per share only to then run to $100. All the insiders got a ton of money off of this, while retail basically got fleeced during the ICO. Luckily, there's two products coming out in the market right now that could give you access to private equity. The two products I'm talking about are Ventuals on Hyperliquid and EarlyBird. Ventuals allows you to long or short pre-IPO companies with up to 10x leverage. It is still on testnet, so none of this is actually live at the moment as far as that goes. People are speculating that there might be an airdrop of some sort, so it might make sense to get some funds onto testnet Hyperliquid and just start making some trades. Right now, they have three tickers that are live: OpenAI, SpaceX, and Kraken. We already know that Kraken is going to be IPOing in early 2026, and this is one of the few ways that you as an individual can get access to the ticker itself before it actually goes live. Now, it's a rather straightforward UI. You can go in, check the main website, sign up with a wallet or Privy, which allows you to create a custodial wallet just based on an email address, and from there, trade one of the three tickers. You can either go long or short and use up to 10x leverage. Now, the platform is still on testnet, so none of the capital is actually real. It's all play money right now until the platform goes live fully. But the main thing you can do here, and what I've been doing, is still taking positions just to get familiar with it. When you click into the ticker that you want to check out, things like OpenAI will share a summary of what the company is, any relevant news that's going on with it, and give you just a basic trading viewpoint. See red and green candles on there for prices going up and down. The way that they actually figure out how to price these assets are based on pre-IPO numbers, some other key things like moving averages, because they have to still somewhat speculate on how this stuff is going to trade. We don't actually have real valuations like traditional equity companies, but you're speculating on pre-launch. So if a company announces a massive raise, inherently that value of the share price may go up. If they announce acquisitions, it could go up. If they announce spending, it could go down. There's a whole bunch of things that play into this, and it is more volatile than traditional stocks. But all of this is on chain and has crypto rails. So what that means is that there's still a cryptocurrency backend, which is probably the most interesting thing to me. And that's why I want to share it in this video. So it's something like Ventuals here. There's only 4 tabs on the site: trade, your portfolio, a leaderboard, and dashboard. Dashboard will show you the total LRV, which is the last round valuations for each of these companies, total amount raised for the companies, total revenue, and head counts. From there, it breaks it down by the last round valuation for each company, what's actually live right now. They show OpenAI, its last round at 500 bill, and its current market value is 756 bill. So it's pretty simple, I guess you could say, pretty straightforward. There's not a ton of information to go off of, but it is nice to see. It also teases a couple other things: crypto, which is coming soon, enterprise and SaaS coming soon, financial services coming soon, and stablecoins coming soon. So it's showing that there's a lot more coming to the platform with Ventuals, and it is still very early phases for it, which is why I think it makes sense for you to get involved sooner than later and actually have a hand in this platform, trade it, get familiar with it, because I think the pre-IPO and private round of a lot of different things is going to be one of the most valuable sectors that you should become familiar on how to actually get a hand in that game and get ahead as tokens launch into the public markets. Now, of course, moving on to the second product here is EarlyBird. It allows you to also long and short companies before IPO. And the main thing with that is they give you a couple key things that they announce right on their site. There's more markets than Ventuals with EarlyBird, I believe, is from the former Hyperspace NFT marketplace team, which had their hand in AVAX NFTs, had their hand in Solana NFTs, have been early to a lot of different markets. The other interesting thing here is well-known ecosystems, products, etc. Things like Cluely, which I'm sure you're familiar with, supposedly can be longed and shorted on EarlyBird, which I'm very interested in because they have a lot of hype, a lot of potential for it. If you get into one of these early enough, they announce another raise, you're going to see a big pop in volume and price action. So it's a lot more speculation, a lot more volatility. Of course, with great risk comes great reward. So that's kind of the most basic, streamlined way to understand what's going on here. EarlyBird has a little bit more information than Ventuals. They say that there's no minimums. You can trade with as little as $1, instant access, so no dealing with brokers, no waiting for approval. Just sign up and trade. Immediate liquidity, so buy and sell anytime, and you don't have to lock up your capital for years, and there's 0 management fees. So that's very, very interesting to me. It seems like EarlyBird is also trying to provide liquidity to people who have tokens in these companies. They're building a way for people to access liquidity on EarlyBird for their startup equity or tokens in these startup companies. So it looks like EarlyBird is actually going down the path of actually backing these shares versus just speculating on something without real backing behind it. Of course, with that too, they know that mainnet will launch soon is all that they've stated, so it's still on testnet, and that's kind of where we're at. We don't know about any sort of airdrops. It's currently in beta as far as they go for EarlyBird as well. And it still seems like it's one of the first innings for this. So similar to the other one, similar to the other side of things here, like Ventuals, EarlyBird gives you access to trade some pre-ICO, pre-IPO tickers. So that's something I'm very, very interested in. Same idea here. They have OpenAI, they have SpaceX, XAI. They got a few more tickers as well. Stripe, Perplexity, and Dural. So the list goes on. Anthropic, Cursor, you name it. There's significantly more tickers on EarlyBird, which is why I'm more interested in it. So it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. They even have things that are crypto native, Monad and more. And just like Ventuals, click in, long or short something, take a look at it. They had Circle on there. It's settlement evaluation. You could have gotten in at a 16 bill price, and when it settled, it was up to a 24 billion price. So it's only pre-market. Once they settle and go live, then that is where the market is now traded publicly. So that's one very interesting thing for me. I'm curious how they're going to settle these things. Heading on to this, there's actually a third platform that I was just made aware of that I wanted to include in this video. The platform is called PreStocks, and that is backed by Jupiter, it would appear. Based on their social media posts with that as well, they said access to private markets has long been gated exclusive until now. Tokenized pre-IPO stocks from PreStocksFi are now live on Jupiter. And with that, it's 24/7 instant trading with no minimums, similar to what we're seeing from Ventuals and EarlyBird. They have SpaceX, OpenAI, and Dural, and more. It is backed by Republic. Republic is the same company that is doing a lot of these tokenized stock pieces, information, opportunities, and more. So with that, PreStocks is actually the third platform behind EarlyBird, behind Ventuals, not so much behind, but in addition to those. And it would appear that right now there is live addresses that you can actually trade for a variety of these pre-IPO stocks. It gives a ton of information on what they are. Stocks are tokens that track the valuation of individual private companies. The benefits are they're available to us, regular investors, no minimum investment, freely transferable, trade 24/7, settle instantly, no paperwork. It asks if they are affiliated. No, they're not affiliated with, endorsed, or issued by the reference companies. So it's just tracking price. They're essentially mirrored stocks. And unlike some of these other platforms, these are just on-chain tickers, CAs basically, with liquidity pools. Very similar to what X stocks are, but these ones are pre-IPO. So unlike Ventuals and unlike EarlyBird, there's no trading platform here. You can trade them on your favorite swaps, exchanges, DEXs, trading bots, you name it, as they're just basically tickers on the Solana blockchain that have this opportunity as well. So things from Adapar and Dural, Epic Games, Harvey PreStocks, Kraken, Neural, OpenAI, Perplexity, SpaceX, XAI, you name it. There's a bunch of different options. And that's the most interesting thing to me. All three of these platforms have different pre-IPO stocks, different opportunities for you to get involved, find what makes the most sense. They're on different chains from Hyperliquid to wherever EarlyBird's going to launch. We don't have that information yet. And then of course, PreStocks on Solana. So you can kind of figure out what ecosystem you enjoy the most, but I think getting involved, especially on Ventuals and EarlyBird, is going to make the most sense since it is more of a fully fleshed out product versus Republic, which is just mirroring the pre-stocks. But if you still want exposure, you're holding stables on Solana, and you want to take some swings at these pre-stock opportunities, that of course is one opportunity for you to do so. I'm obviously closely monitoring this. I think you should be too. But as always, none of this is financial advice. I'm just trying to share what I'm looking at right now, what I'm finding interesting in the market, and hope that you could learn a thing or two. As always, hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave a comment, and keep it easy. We'll catch you next time.